Chapter 4. Us. Someone knocks on the door. Since my office was not too far from the front door, I went up to check who was it. Opening the door, it feels like something came out of my chest. Didn't accept me at all. Thank God he came along. If it brought his whole family, it would have been too much for me to deal with. Simply don't have time for it. It was Lyon. Who was it? Asked Paige. Even though it sounds like she was far away, she wasn't. We couldn't hear her footsteps as she was coming towards us. I turned around and looked at Paige. She had changed clothes for the work, and we could see she just came out of the shower, because her hair is wet, and the water from her hair is running down her face. She comes towards me, taking a quick look at me, and looks at Leo. And who is the lovely guy? She asked. It was not as if she asking directly to someone exactly. It was a bit more as an open question, but I didn't say anything, felt embarrassed. Leon, he said while reaching out his hands for Paige to do the same. Paige also reached out her hands and greeting him. Oh, you are... Ah, nice to finally meet you, she said, and both shook his hands and hers. It feels like she was rubbing it really hard because I was completely silent. I was watching at the time and noticed that it was time to leave. Couldn't not call my daughter while he was present, but I had to do something. So instead, I had a quick eye contact with Paige. Are you ready? I said, and gave us a few glances. Wait, just give me a few minutes and then we'll be ready. Paige ran up quick. It turns out she understood what I was trying to tell her, but I just hope he didn't notice. Hi, he said, and looks up to me. I didn't answer back. Could not stand that long because I really had a bad time. So I left the front door open, went quick into the office, went through some report, put some of them in my purse, another in Paige's purse that was laying on the floor next to the office door. Paige, are you ready? I screamed. Yeah, coming down now, she said. I put my computer in my bag, picked up Paige's bag, went out of the office, took out my key that was in my back pocket, locked in the door, and head out towards Leo. He was noticing that I was stressing and at the same time getting ready. He didn't say anything but took my bags and Paige from my arm, looks up to me straight when I bend down to put my shoes. Paige comes down, walks towards me, looks up to Leo. She gets distracted for a second. I kick her knee and she looks at her quick as I get up. She looks at me. She's ready, she said as she was putting on her shoes. Even though I haven't left the house yet, I felt the heat, almost like it was building my back or something like that. But thank God I'm not wearing anything back. Otherwise I would have sweat like a God who knows. I took the bag from Leon and said thanks. Paige also got up, took her purse from me. We turned around to see my daughter. She looks down quick to find her shoe, bend down to put on her shoes and get up. She looked at Leon, became completely stiff in the body. I'm noticing and shaking her to wake her up. Leon, what are you doing here? When my daughter asked, I felt really stressed and looked at Paige. Leon didn't answer her and just turned away and walked away. We were thinking it was super strange, that almost like it is a bit strange atmosphere, as if something already happened between them or something is about to happen or something like that. We still didn't say nothing. We just went out. We're going, I said to the maid. She came rushing towards me, smiled and gave me a hug. Ma'am, what about I told them? What time are they arriving so that we know how much food we're gonna buy and have the food ready before they arrive? A quick look at the time. About 2 hours approximately or more or less. And I'm coming back in a few hours to stay, turn around and just walk on. I thought even though it's incredible hot, it's really nice that it's blowing a lot. I felt the nice fresh air while I'm breathing in and out. Nothing is better than that. Paige and my daughter are standing by the car and waiting for me, while Leon is sitting in the car and looking at me. I sat right next to Leon, Paige right next to me, and my daughter at the front. As usual, I'm sitting at the front and the girls in the back, but since Leon is here, we had to change a bit, the sitting positions. The door closed, the cars open, the gates, and the driver starts the car and started driving. In the meantime, we're just looking at each other except for my daughter, who is always on her cell phone and has AirPods in her ears. It almost feels like a stranger next to us, embarrassed. Looks like Leon started the conversation. The right move, to put it that way, because he haven't told me yet, or us yet, the reason for his arrival. But Paige is interrupting him as usual. It's typical of her. His curiosity has coming up to the next level. Sure, just let it drive on then, because I didn't have any intention to talk anyway. So, Leon, what's up? What was going to happen? He laughed the same did I. So, you and Jayleeen, she said with a completed sentence, although we didn't understand her question. Lyon leaned forward to look at me, hoping that I would answer, but then he just leaned back and looked back at Paige. We just know each other, he said. I was not ready to tell anything about what has happened to David, even though Paige almost knows that I'm quite of engaged to him. So it's nothing in the box. It was just only his father who said that, nothing more than that. So it was okay that he just said that we know each other than anything else. Leon looks at me. Do you have any children? Felt if something hit me hard. How? How so? Why are you curious? I said that so that I don't need to get straight into the answer. Well, I thought you may be talking about something about the kids or something, so I thought it was about your kids, he said and smiled. While he was speaking, it was something about his voice that makes it sometimes difficult to concentrate or stay focused while talking. Didn't quite know what it was, but it was just relaxing people in sort of way. Oh, no. My home is just like an orphan. He didn't say anything after that. He just turned away and looked out the window. Paige holding my arm pretty tight for me to notice her. I'm looking up to her. It looks like she's trying to tell me something. She's bending her neck to the side, almost like I'm going to look at my daughter. Of course, I'm noticing that my daughter is taking out her AirPods out of her ears, putting it back. But other than that, I don't quite understand what Paige is trying to tell me. I'm leaning back so that I don't get too suspicious of Lyon. So does Paige. All of a sudden, she gets a phone call. She picked up the phone, turned off the ringtones, and put the phone back. A few minutes later, the same thing goes again. Her cell phone rings again. She sees her cell phone turning on the sound, and over again. Of course, I'm getting curious about who is calling her constantly without interruption. Before I have time to say anything, Leon's cell phone rang again. He takes out his cell phone that was lying in his suit jacket, put his phone into his ear. Hello, he sits up and bent forward. All we can hear is It has been a few minutes later and Leon is still on the phone. Then he's looking at me and all of a sudden holding my hand and putting his Paige leg. As much as I like it, I think it's really, really strange at the same time. Because ever since we met, we haven't not had any proper conversation or anything like that. As if it's something new for me at least. I don't know about him. Leon is looking at me as he's bending against me while Leon is talking to whatever he's talking to. While Leon is talking to the person, I'm hearing my name repeating multiple times. I am of course curious to know or to find out what it's all about. I know one thing for sure, and that is I'm not completely calm in my body because I cannot bury any more secret about someone that I know is gonna happen. But at the same time, it will be different, at least this time, because my daughter is here, and I don't want anything to be all the assumed towards her, especially the thoughts she don't want to know so much about my family or the opposite. Begin to wonder if the time is approaching to tell her, since I getting to meet my family several times and she might be there. The car stops. It's parking outside the workplace of my daughter and Leon. Will also be mine, but will be transferred here in a few days. In the meanwhile, Paige and I having some meetings, so it's fine. I'm releasing my arm to Leon. Paige is shaking. I'm shaking Paige and open up the door. My daughter gets out of the car and standing right in front of me. She's moving to the side while I going out and take my purse and my vest. Paige do the same thing and close the door. Paige is sudden, she's laughing, but it's not something new for me because she is always doing that every time she woke up from sleep. So we all us walking as well, we are laughing. We go up the stairs. I'm saying bye to my daughter before she goes the opposite direction. She's working usually on the same floor as me and Paige, but since it's counting day, she's working downstairs. Typical Paige who wants to have attention. She's giving me my daughter a huge hug as if they're not gonna see each other again. So typical Paige. Always have to be such a dramatic queen. Leon is turning around and look. He's smiling and laughing at the same time and gets serious again. He looks at my daughter. Remember, meeting around 12, he said loud and clear. She nodded her head, let go of Paige's hands, turned around, just walk away. We did the same. Leon pressed the elevator button. The door opened and we enter. He pressed 4 while I did 3. He looked at me. Why 3? We have meeting. Not into 50 minutes. Leon is looking at the time and knocked his head while Paige is on the phone. After a few seconds later, we arrive. The door is open and we walk out straight ahead. Paige turns around and visits to Lyon. Don't know if Lyon do the same since I didn't turn. I pull the Paige arm and she turned around. When? Don't do it while we are here, I said in a rather heavy voice. They decided to be mean. Mainly because they already rumors about us from before. Do you want people to believe that it's true either? Since we don't have our office here, we bought the office that is located at the end of the hallway. Something that we really hate. It's not that really bad as it seems like. It's quite big and nice, and we have access to everything without leaving the office. I take out my key, unlock it, open the door. Paige walks in first, so do I. We put the things away, turn the computer and electric stuff, ready to use when we return back from the meeting. Paige takes out her computer in a folder, and so do I. We take out our shoes and put up slippers. I don't know about you guys, but it's so comfortable. I think at least. We leave in the office and locking up. As usual, we are taking the elevator, but since we have plenty of time before the meeting starts, we're taking the stairs so that Paige can be more awake than what she really is. We are using the emergency stairs since it's the closest to our office. Jayleeen, we could actually use elevator instead. You're a fool, stop being lazy, I said as we went up the stairs. We arrive, open the door. We goes in. While walking towards the meeting room, a lady comes towards us. Every time this woman comes towards me, I never liked her at all. But since she is the assistant of Lyon's father, which means my father-in-law, I cannot actually believe I said that. But anyways, it was not too much to say. What is it? I asked her. It's from David and Lyon. They want you to sign it before the end of the day. Okay, thank you. I just put it away and just move on. They didn't even bother to take a look at it anyways. We were still walking towards the meeting room. No one's come yet. It's still time. So we just sat down, opened up a fold. Paige opened up her computer while I bring out the fold for the meeting, and just literally chill. Because we still have time. A few minutes later, my colleague comes in, greeting and sit down. Paige greets back, while I'm just smiling back. More is coming, and Lyon at the end. He's closing the door, and changing the sign to busy, and goes towards the end of the room. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, everyone answer. Lyon just got started, and we're just literally listen behind. We were, of course, talking, discussing, and all that. Short while later, we are talking about issues with the seasonal changes. Each one of us tells about our opinion. It is now Paige's turn, and she's just talking and talking and talking. That's so hilarious. And we can see that, or it's not that clear, where we can see that Lyon is laughing, but trying to pull himself together. Okay, fine. Thank you, Paige. Jayleeen, what about you? Everyone is looking at me. That is, I don't have anything to add. Maybe the slightest bad bit. And I'm talking general. Lyon's looking at me smiling. I'm trying to interrupt him, but it obviously is so hard to do it. It almost feels like I feel so good next to him. Almost, I don't know, a good feeling that I haven't known for a long time, at least, which I can remember. Make it clear for us then, so you don't have to, said the man sitting all the way back to the room. I watched Paige as Lyon walked over the computer, turned off the computer, but noticing the question was directed to me instead of Lyon, which explains why everyone's still looking at me. Paige got up, looked around, and finally asked Lyon, I think we are done, aren't we? She said, what stood up, went back, took in the chair. The other did the same, and picked up some folder stuff that was laying on the table, just walked out of the room. Wow, well done of her. She knew anyways I didn't have any concrete answer about it. Either did Lyon. Every time this topic recently repeated, we have been evolving it until we know how to deal with it. Of course, I don't know what Lyon thinks about it, but based on his reaction, he expected me to comment on it or talk about it. Lyon comes towards me and noticing some fold lying on the table. Some of them are open, others are towards the side. But it looks like he's looking at the folder I got from his desk assistant. Even though I'm noticing, I'm not intending to read it until I'm coming home. And trying to bring it close to me, I feel his breath on my neck. Takes out my phone to try and distract myself. The moment I take out my phone that was lying on the table, he take that away from me and look at me really intensive, as if he's ready to get me. Paige noticed it and said, folks, we got things to do. If Paige had not interrupted, what do you think would have happened? Stay tuned for chapter 5.